Well, you saw the title and now you're here, so this is why your enemies are your greatest teachers. First, starting off with the fact that the inconvenience of having an enemy is nowhere except inside of your mind, as with most of almost everything. To say that too, it gives you the best representation of who you truly are. Because when you have an enemy and you wish something upon them, I would presume it's most of the time negative that you wish upon your enemies. It shows a lot about the conscience that you have for another human being. So imagine your worst enemy, and then imagine the most terrible thing that you've ever wished happened to them, and just know that that idea that you wish upon them is just you. That idea is you. You are just as bad as that idea that you have come up with in order to perpetuate onto your enemy. And it kind of ties together when it comes to confirmation bias, because everybody's the good guy. They're the wrong, I'm right. They don't know what I know. But when you're to analyze the dark side of yourself, it's the easiest way to do it. The easiest way to analyze the dark side of yourself is to perpetrate that onto your enemy. Think of your enemy, think about what they make you think and feel, and then that's you, and that's your truest the best way to find the evil within you, I guess, because we all have some, I would suppose. So imagine all of those, terrible things, and then, imagine if you wished it onto yourself. Would you want it to happen to you? And if you wouldn't want it to happen to yourself, then why would you ever wish it upon another person, another conscious, another perception, another point that could feel things and think things, another thing, like another consciousness that could be depressed or go through suffering? Why would you ever wish that upon another if you wouldn't want to wish it upon yourself? Just think about it. And when it comes to having enemies and whatnot, for the most part, people just mirror each other. Like, the amount of consciousness you have as an individual is really, really small if you were to think about it, which, of course I have. If you try it, actually, if you meet people and you are excited to meet them, or if you act excited to meet them, at least they're going to act excited back, because why wouldn't you? When I interact with people, I'll have a gesture every time I interact with them, and they will, before I get to sometimes have the same gesture. Sometimes I just point at you, and that's the gesture I do when I meet you. Or sometimes I go and I just look at you like that. I do that sometimes, and eventually the people that I do that to start doing it back, because it's a mirror. If someone was so nice, it brings an amount of conscience within them to be nice to them back, because why would they, wish something bad or do something bad to someone who's so nice? That's for the general population, of course. I will say that there are such things as sociopaths, psychopaths, and narcissists, which I highly recommend you look into and dissect and understand on your own, because it's kind of crucial to being healthy and whatnot. And I can't control their existence. I can only accept that they exist and make the best decisions based off of it, I suppose. They do exist, though, and it's always a good idea for anyone to look into them. So there's that part when it comes to mirroring. If you're happy to see someone, they're gonna be happy to see you. If yeah. that they mirror you. You can get people to mirror you very easily, and when it comes to your enemies, that's where it's a mirror. It's a mirror. So if you keep that tension among your enemy, it's going to be it. So be it. It will be. And that's when it comes to maybe coming to terms with your enemies. Perhaps that's where it's this is where you're going to have the most amount of self-growth that you might ever have, is through your enemy. It says in order to be neutral to them, to like never interact with them again, or just like be rude to them back, that's pretty easy for the most part. Some people can, some people do that, but to then go back and love your enemies is the most true strength and self-development and radical self-acceptance that you might ever go through within your lifetime. To be able to come to terms with all of the uncomfortability and resentment, look past it, and it takes a lot. It takes a lot of some people. Some people just have it in them, and some people you might not find any. Because if you could do something bad to someone, or hurt someone and then get away with it forever, nothing ever happened to you, why wouldn't you just do that if you survive and whatnot? And part of the heart of the issue with this whole thing is getting people to recognize that they're the evil one, and not a lot of people want to accept that, I would imagine. They might just write it off as nobody's perfect, or everybody makes mistakes, but there's a little deeper type of recognition we need to put into such an idea. Can we say, like, oh no, you're literally, like, the devil is within you, is literally there. And people, I don't know, people want to accept that in themselves and help integrate it in a way that will pay dividends in the future, I guess we could say. That's just it. It affects nobody besides yourself to have those things within you and never deal with it, I guess we could say. It's a dissonance in your mind that affects no one. It does affect others. Being your best self is the best thing you could do for anyone else in the world. I will say that. But if you gain something from this, that's dope. That was my goal. And I guess I'll see you when I see you. Probably not, maybe, I don't know.